This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Garfield Bowen.
Welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast. Today I have the pleasure of introducing good neighbor Matt Black with Benjamin Franklin Plumbing. How you doing today, Matt?
Doing great, thank you. How you doing?
I am well. We're excited to learn all about you and your business. Tell us a little about Benjamin Franklin Plumbing.
It is a national franchise, but we are locally owned and operated. The franchise started back in 2000, and the previous owner of this company purchased the franchise for this area in 2005. And I was the manager at the time of the previous company and took the management over of this company.
Okay, so tell us, what is what separates you from all the other plumbers around?
Well, first of all, we have an on-time guarantee. So if there's any delay, it's you we pay, and we pay you $5 a minute for every minute we're late, up to $300 if we don't arrive in the time frame that we promised.
I guess that's kind of important if your toilet is blocked up or, so timing is essential. Matt, how did you get into this business?
Actually, I started out working in the warehouse back in 2000. I started out as a warehouse boy and was pulling parts, cleaning toilets, ordering material, whatever it took to run the warehouse. I did that for about 3 or 4 months, and the owner came to me and said, "Hey, I need you to be my service manager." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I'm trying to learn what plumbing parts are called." And he was like, "I don't need you for the technical side. I need you for the system side. You put so many systems in place in our warehouse that I need that on my service side." He had went through 7 service managers in the previous 7 years. So I became his service manager for the next 7 years. Then I became the GM and did all the day-to-day operations, everything, the hiring, the dehiring, the marketing, the budget, everything. And I did that for the next 12 plus years. And then in 2019, November of 2019, my wife and I actually purchased the company. So I went from warehouse to owner, and now we've owned it for about 3.5 years now.
So that's for all our listeners out there. You put your head down and work hard. Who knows what's in store for the future, right?
Absolutely.
What are some of the myths and misconceptions in the plumbing industry?
There's some marketing things that happens with certain products that give people, they think that it's one thing and it's not. One of the things I'll give you an example is tankless water heaters, and they are called InstaHots. A lot of marketing firms will use the term InstaHot. Yes, it instantly heats up when you turn your faucet on, but it still takes the same distance to travel from the water heater location to that faucet. And a lot of homeowners think that they have a tankless water heater, an InstaHot, as soon as they turn their faucet on, that the water will be hot, and that's not the case.
Interesting. I learned something today. So Matt, when you're not busy managing your enterprise there, outside of work, what do you like to do for fun?
Actually, the wife and I, we in our spare time, we run a Jeep club. And we travel out of the state once or twice a year, and we're scheduled for the 4th of July week. We're going up to Alabama to a place called Stony Lonesome Off-Road Park, and we actually go rock crawling up in the mountains and take the Jeep up there and go up with a group of people and do different things. So we'll go to Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, and that's kind of our getaway.
So you're saying the Jeep really does all as advertised?
Absolutely. Yep.
That's amazing. Let's change gears a little bit. Life often throws us curveballs. Let's talk about one hardship, life challenge, something that you rose above and can now say that you're better and stronger because of that. What comes to mind?
Well, when we very first purchased the business, we put all of our eggs in this one basket. It was a very scary thought to do that. I'd worked for the company for almost 20 years, and then to all of a sudden be the one that has all the weight on your shoulders if something goes wrong, that you are now responsible. It wasn't like the wife and I had deep pockets, and if something went haywire where we could just go pull out of our pocket. An example would be back in 2008 when the market took a crash. The previous owner had the funds to be able to keep the company going during that time when we were struggling. And so that was probably the scariest thing for me. And then what happened as soon as we purchased the business, a couple months later, COVID hit. And I'm thinking, oh, did we just make the biggest mistake of our lives? Even when I talk about it, I get goosebumps because I was just sick to my stomach. All of our employees here, for the most part, they were all the providers for their family, in the sense that one of our guys, his wife, runs a cake shop. So they were shut down. Nobody was doing weddings. Nobody was doing that. Another one worked in the cafeteria at the school. Schools were closed down. Another one worked at a spa for doing nail salon and this and that was closed down. And we had a couple stay-at-home moms. So that meant that our guys had to provide. So that was a very scary time. We doubled down. Instead of backing away from our advertising, we actually doubled our advertising. We called the whole company in, had a meeting, and basically said that, even if the company loses money or breaks even, we don't care, as long as we can keep food on your guys' table and keep you providing for your family. So all of the guys had to take some shorter hours or shorter days to spread the calls out. People in the office had to take work shorter days as well for us to get through it. But everybody pulled together as a team, and we got through it. And after that couple months of a bump, we ended up the first year we owned the company having our best year ever out of the 20 years.
That is amazing. All hands on deck, huh?
Yep. So I ended up doing a handwritten thank you card to every single employee and provided every one of them with a paid day off certificate as a thank you, and said, hey, I know we're not through this whole COVID thing yet. So know if something happens, if calls are slow, or if we have a rough day, you got one paid day off on us, saying thank you for everything that you did to get us through that bump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all about coming together. And that's one of the reasons that birthed the Good Neighbor podcast, is just everyone really pitching in and helping to really strengthen the community. So, Matt, I want you to narrow it down to one thing that you want our listeners to remember about Benjamin Franklin Plumbing.
That our team truly cares about their customers. We get reviews and we get letters and we get emails constantly of whether the lady that answered the phone in the office went above and beyond to help out. We'll get a call where a customer may be having a sewer backup, and they'll ask the right questions and find out that if it's on city sewer and if they have one of the grinder systems, and instead of us just going out to that home and charging a service call to go out there to tell them, sorry, there's nothing we can do for you, the girls in the office will do the legwork, get a hold of the utilities department, or have the homeowner get a hold of them, have them go check it first. So they're not paying us to come out for us to tell them that there's not something we can do for them. And the same way with the guys in the field, they'll go out there and they'll be fixing a door, they'll fix a cabinet. I had a guy, he went to a customer's house and they had sewer backing up, and she had towels everywhere, and she was literally sick to her stomach from the mess. He went in, cleaned everything up, put the towels in the washer for her, turned the washer on, ended up fixing the problem, mopped her floors, and went back and took the towels and put them in the dryer. And then we get a letter that, that they service was beyond her expectations. So our team really goes out of the way to take care of the customer. And that's probably what I'm most proud about our team.
I'm sure our listeners right now are really inspired by your company and your workers. And, I'm glad to be able to really see it from the inside out. You see the name from the outside, but to really hear from the owner, I'm sure a lot of listeners are probably looking around the house and they probably got a sink that's not going down as quickly as it can, a tub, a toilet, something. And, they want to know how can they reach you?
A couple different ways. We have our phone number, which is pretty memorable. So it's 772-CALL-BEN. So 772-CALL-BEN. And then you can reach us through Facebook. You can reach us through the internet, which is BenjaminFranklinPlumbing.com. And there is a chat button on there, as well as there's a schedule button. If you don't want to call into the office and you just want to schedule through the internet, you're able to do that.
Well, Matt, I really appreciate having you in this show. I wish you and your business the very best moving forward.
Thank you very much. And thanks for taking the time out today.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast, Port St Lucie. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpportstlucie.com. That's gnpportstlucie.com. Or call 772-362-3840.